And good morning. I'm Hayley from Aussievision, and I'm joined by the lovely Saskia, and we are here to talk about the Polish national final, which just finished. So, how are you this morning?
I'm very well, very well.
So, we will talk about the winner, and then we're going to chat about the show in general and the other songs. Now, I know this isn't the song that you wanted to win, but it's mine. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what did you think of her performance?
I thought she definitely, out of everyone that night, I think she definitely gave the most out of anyone. Like she had the most energy, and by the end, I actually did want her to win
Oh,
because I just feel like she wanted it the most. This was a national final going in. I didn't really have really like a clear winner. There was like four or five options I would have been fine with. Um, but at the same time, Justina's first entry back in 1995 is one of my favorite Eurovision entries of all time. So even though I'm not huge on this song particularly, I am more than happy to see her come back.
yeah, it's a very different song, isn't it? But I guess that means you've got a soft spot for
Mm,
her. I feel like she's aged
yes.
backwards. She looks fantastic. And you're right,
Oh, she
she
looks amazing.
she really does. So she came out on stage and she just owned it, I felt. I think she'll have experience on her side, and having gone to Eurovision before, even though things have changed a lot, I would think it would maybe work in her favor and she'll have a bit more confidence, maybe. Um, I
Yeah.
know there's also a talk of like returnees. Every year there's a returnee, and they sort of talk about that during the telecast. So I don't think that's going to be a bad thing. Um, Now she won comfortably with a nearly 40% vote. So some of the things that I had to think about for her were I think she's got the right concept. With her staging, with the dances and the color and everything, it was a bit like Ruslana vibes for me. So I think she's got a good concept. I would drop the violin. It was a bit strange. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
I thought at times the vocals were a little bit rough, but I felt that the vocals were a lot more exposed in this than the track, studio track. So I guess
Mm.
she just needs to work on those a bit. They weren't that bad really, but there were a few moments I thought,
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if there was maybe like an in-ear issue or some kind of technical issue because she's too seasoned to, I feel like, be making the mistakes that she did tonight. And I felt like she was a little late. She was singing just a little bit faster, I think, than the track itself.
oh,
But I wouldn't be surprised if that was more of just a tech issue because,
yeah.
yeah, again, she's been in the game too long to be making things like problems like that. But I think her enthusiasm was able to overcome those
Yeah.
issues.
Absolutely. Everything else was going for it. Like she looked hot in the outfit. The song's kind of about a powerful woman, and she gave that aesthetic on stage. I thought the
Mm-hmm.
staging is pretty much mostly there. Ideally, I'd prefer to see her dancing a little bit more rather than doing those sort of almost those the aerobics vibes. But I guess she's
Yeah.
also got to concentrate very strongly on her singing. Um, Now, she came down off the stage, and when I rewatched it, I realized that she wasn't sitting on a swing. She's actually holding on, and that makes me so nervous. I think, oh my gosh, what if she falls? Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did see that she was like just suspended that way. And I think it was a shame because when she's doing that, she's hitting like these really, really high notes, but there wasn't a light on her. So I didn't
Yeah,
even notice that she was even singing until the very end. And so again, it's like an easy fix for Basel.
absolutely. So yeah, I think the presentation is good. They have a little bit of work to do, but I really stress this for Poland. Do not overcook it. I think it's good now. It just needs to be
Yes.
tidied up.
Mm.
So look, let's talk about the show. I think the hosts were fantastic. It was great to see Michael Spark back. I thought he was great. The first song he sung gave me the Romania 2013 vibes. How incredible was that super long note
Yes.
that he did?
Oh yeah, like if anything, this is sort of like him soft launching a return, maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
He was, I
absolutely.
wouldn't be surprised he really went out there and was like, look what you could have.
Yeah, that's
So I was, I was very, yeah, and I think his dynamic with the other host was quite good as well. They were a good sort of like yin and yang to each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
And I thought he brought a really good energy. Very, I mean, not just in his look, but he reminded me a lot of Conchita Wurst hosting
Yes.
the Luxembourg one as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I had a lot of, he had a lot of Conchita energy.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
liked
I
his
would love to
energy.
see him come back as
Ab-
well.
Absolutely, absolutely. He just needs the right song. So, what did you think about the
Mm.
staging and overall production? I saw some shorts yesterday of the rehearsals, and I was blown away. That stage looked incredible. And Baby Lasagna, I didn't realize he was part of the show, and he came out and did 4 songs. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, like the Polish national final has never really been one I've overly has been on my radar or something I really pay attention to.
Yeah,
But when I saw the rehearsal clips yesterday, I was like, wait, hold on. I think we've got something here.
yeah,
And I would say most of the songs had really, really effective staging and they were all given a lot of attention. And I think it also, they had a really good running order as well that kept it really nice and diverse. And it was really nice and short.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
really, no notes on the production.
Mm. I thought so too. I loved the way they were sort of going to, like it was quick. They were straight into it. There was a song, a chat, a song, a chat, and then the voting sequence was
Mm,
quite short. I really enjoyed the show's length because although you love national finals, when it's here in the morning in Australia, it can be quite a long morning. So the format was, I think,
yeah.
absolutely perfect. Now, I just quickly, before we start talking about the other songs, I want to talk about the 100% televote. um, I kind of feel that that may be a product of the backlash from 2023 when Blanca won the national final with Solo under mysterious circumstances. Um, I guess one good thing about that is it gave us a bit of a reaction from the crowd on who we sort of thought they were liking more. And I kind of felt Justina definitely had more of a crowd reaction, which was interesting. Is there anything that you noticed with the crowd reactions?
Yeah, like I think making it 100% televote and having such a big name like Justina in it kind of maybe eliminated a bit of the suspense.
Yeah.
And, because I don't think it was like entirely a great fit. But at the same time, yeah, like I was rewatching actually the videos of Blanca and Jan's Gladiator from the year before, and I was reading through the comments, and there are still someone from like recently, like in the past year or so, and they still have not gotten over this. So I think it was absolutely the right decision
Oh,
to give the power to the people in this instance, even if
yeah.
it meant that the show wasn't really that exciting because you knew who it was going to be,
Yeah.
because it removed any semblance of rigging. Like you cannot even like there's no argument that can be made. Then
No,
this is the people's choice. So
that's right. That's
for
right.
this year especially, absolutely the right decision.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So look, let's talk about the other songs. Listerka, that came second. Look, that was my second choice. I love the Justina song, but at Listerka, that was one of the first songs I really loved this season. I was really concerned about how it would go when they came out on stage, but I was blown away. They sounded incredible. They looked good, and I kind of thought if there was going to be any other contender to possibly knock her off, this would be the one. What were your
Mm.
thoughts?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like funk as a genre is something I don't think I'll ever be able to take seriously. So I like every part of me should hate this, but at the same time, I wouldn't have been mad if it went because I think it's so different. We've never heard anything like it in the contest before. And so I think it would have been a really cool choice to put in there. I would disagree on the point. I think she sounded a little bit out of breath,
Yeah,
which
okay.
is, I'm sure, like, if they won, she absolutely could have improved by the time we got
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
my other issue with it was the whole chanting bit was pretty much all pre-recorded,
Yeah,
and I think that would really cause issues later down the line. Like, I don't know if the EBU would have an issue with that much of the song being backing,
true.
but yeah, there were just little issues where I think it would flounder.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things sort of like you watch things the first time and you sort of have an opinion either way. And it's not until you watch it a second time, you might pick up on things. So I've only watched it the once, but that song kind of reminds me of a slowed down Shum from Go Away. So I wasn't surprised. So they were at 20 or nearly 24% of the vote, and Justina got nearly 40% of the vote. So it was a fairly big margin. So the top
Mm-hmm.
five that was brought out on the stage in the end was Cuba, Trust, Dominic Dudek, which I'm absolutely delighted that he was in the top five, because I just think that song's beautiful. And then Lusterka and Justina. So let's talk about your favorites. So your two favorites were Daria Marks with Let It Burn with the amazing hair, and Trist with Tempo. Daria came last and Trist came fourth. What did you think of Daria's performance?
Yeah, so it was my winner, mainly because I just love a Bond song in Eurovision, and so I'm always gonna have a soft spot. I think last place was absolutely harsh. Like she was definitely better than a lot of other people, so that was a bit of a shock. However, I think the staging was such an ill fit for the song that I'm really not mad. Like when I saw it live, I was like, yeah, this isn't the one. I never thought it would be the one.
Yeah, you
It's
just
all just
hoped it
personal
would be.
taste, but
Mm,
I
yeah.
thought maybe it could get like a top five, but then I saw the staging and I knew it was over.
Yeah. Though I mean her vocals were great. She's because I remember her from a few years ago. When I think she came second to Christian Ockman. And she was a totally different song. And she's got a real
Mm,
depth to her voice. She's got a beautiful voice. But the staging confused me too, because not only was I distracted by the sneakers she was wearing under her dress, but it was kind of almost like a Pixie Forest vibe. And I'm not quite sure how that
yeah.
fit into the song. So it kind of felt like an ill fit. Um, so Chris was first. I think they were first up, weren't they? And they were pretty darn good as well, I think. I mean, they came fourth.
Yeah, no, Chris was absolutely my winner by the end of the night. I thought that they should have taken it. Like Justina, I'm very happy that she won,
Yeah,
mainly because of yeah, like personal bias. But I thought that they opened the show. It was still one of the standouts by the end.
yeah.
Her vocals were far surpassed anything I could have thought. Like she sounded exactly like
Mm,
the studio recording. I even though it was already my second place, I liked it even more by the end of it, and
oh,
I
wow.
was paying attention to it even more than I was before. So I would have been very happy to see this go.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive, and I guess the show got off to a great start with that song first.
Mm,
Look, to be honest, I really don't think any of the performances were bad. Like everyone had some good points. Like I loved what Cuba brought to the stage with his energy. He's super cute. He's red and the white.
yes.
There was one song that I was really surprised by that I so enjoyed was Janus Radek's song In Cosmic Mist. That was just so dramatic and beautiful. There was a lot going on the stage as well. So were there any
Mm.
sort of songs that you sort of weren't really into beforehand that you were blown away with?
I mean, honestly, like I think Justina is one of them. That was a real grower watching it live.
Yeah.
And I think it is a song that needs to be performed live. I don't think it's really like a song you listen to on Spotify,
Yeah.
which for Eurovision works out fine.
Yeah.
Um, Apart from that, yeah, Crust was a big standout, even though I already had them ranked very high. I didn't really
Yeah.
have many expectations for the staging. Uh, but aside from that, I think everything else I was just very I was pleasantly surprised by the whole thing being staged so well, and everything popped a lot more than when I
Mm.
was listening through to the playlist.
Yeah, there was definitely high production values there with the show. So look, last question. How do you think the song's going to go in Basel?
I think it's a absolute qualifier, like no question. This is qualifying.
Okay.
In terms of how it will do, I think it really depends on. I think the song probably needs a bit of a revamp just to streamline it a little bit more. Right now, I think it's a bit too messy.
Mm.
Just cleaning it up a little bit. But I have no doubt that she will put in a better performance in
Yeah.
Basel than she's put in tonight, and it'll be a lot tidier as long as they don't Polandify it with all of the
Exactly.
like after effects.
Yeah.
I could see this finishing on the left side.
That's right. No rain coming down on the screen. No more
Yeah,
Justine is
no
in the
rain.
background. Look, I think what they've
No,
got there to
just
work with is perfect. Just let's refine it, as you said, and make it a little bit
mm,
better. Yeah. I think the song could do with a revamp. I feel it's very loud. Like that wall of sound that
yeah.
hits you. And her
Mm,
vocals on stage were a lot more pulled out. So I think if it just needs a little bit more sort of, or maybe less production, I'm not sure. But
yeah.
it's almost there. So yeah, it's very exciting. Mm. So there you go. We have another song for Eurovision 2025. Poland put on an amazing show. Saskia, thank you so much for being along on the ride early this morning with me and chatting to me.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, let's bye.